Hey everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. And back here in my craft room, we are going to be working with a suite out of the mini catalog, and we all have difficulties with masculine cards. Stamping Up makes it easy. In this particular one, it's called Ready to Ride, and if you have a guy in your life that is a motorcycle enthusiast, then this is definitely a set that you do not want to let get away. It is absolutely adorable. There is in the designer series paper, there is a pattern that has roses, and this paper has been embossed, so it's beautiful on one side, and then the other side has some patterns that are really neat. But I'm going to show you the pieces, the bits and pieces that we have. But first, let me show you the card that I came up with, and this is the card we're going to be making today. And I think anyone that loves a motorcycle would really enjoy getting this card for their birthday or just thinking of you. But see how this designer series paper has the sheen to it? It's embossed, and of course I used silver foil here and the embossing folder that comes with this set. We're gonna be using a piece of black cardstock for our base, and I have a piece of scrap that I'm going to use for doing some die cutting. The Stampin' dies are this right here. They are so neat, and I love the sentiments in these. Right on, it's your birthday, classic authentic you since forever, Dad you're the coolest, and you are legendary. Those are our sentiments. We have this little background that looks like maybe some hills and desert. You think of desert roads and people on motorcycles, but I live here in the South where we have a lot of greenery and backcountry roads, so that also lends to motorcycle. And we've never gone to the mountains that we didn't see a lot of riders, so I think they love to hang those curves in the mountains. But anyway, this is just such a cute set. But not only do you get the Stampin' the dies in this collection, you get the metal plate 3D embossing folder, and that's what I did this embossing right here with. And see how detailed that is? Such a nice effect on a card. And we have some gems. These are the adhesive back studs, and they are so cute. You get these different shapes, you get some circles, and then you get some little rectangles, so they are quite different than a lot of the other, and they're all in sort of a matted silver and black. And then the designer series paper, this paper is just luscious, and it's masculine, but there is a piece, and I'm just going to do it like this. This is the shiny side. See what I mean about it being embossed? And then the other side of that is this. These would be great to fussy cut, or if you have a brother's scan and cut, you could cut this whole sheet out. So cute. Then you have this pattern. Let's lay this right here, and these cut-aparts, which I love cut-aparts, and these are so neat. I did not use any of these on my card, but you can see how versatile this paper could be. This looks like the studs that the embossing folder does, but it's done on the gray and with black, which is so cute. And then look at these motorcycles sheet with the little print of the embossing folder, the little stars, I guess you would call it. And then we have wrenches, and then this scenery is so cute. I could see cutting out a strip of this, or maybe even fussy cutting one of these buildings and putting it on the front of our card. It would be so cute. This is the piece that I used earlier was this. I'm going to lay this out because we are going to use that again, but that's on the back side of this piece. Again, we have those studs that are beautiful. This is the piece I was telling you about that's very feminine, and you could definitely use this as a feminine piece, but this is the back side. All of these little signs and Route 46 and just different little curve signs and what have you. That is just a beautiful, beautiful pack of paper. And I just dropped something off of my desk. I'm so sorry. It's so easy to knock stuff over. I've pulled the piece of paper that I'm going to use, and this is plenty for what I'm going to need. So we're going to lay this to the side. We're also going to be using some silver foil, and this is just from our annual catalog. You can go in, look at the specialty papers, and it's there. I'll have the number on the PDF tutorial, so if you want to order some silver foil, it'll be real easy for you to access the number. Let's lay everything over to the side and get my catalog off of here. And this card's going to take a minute to make. What I'm going to do is show you what I do to to die cut everything. I'll go off camera and cut it and then come back. I think that will be the best thing to do. But the first thing I want to do is go ahead and cut our card base. Again, I'm using our basic black, and I'm going to cut it on the 11-inch side to 5.5. Like so, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. So bring it to 4 1/4 and give it a good score. Now your score blade is always the light gray, your cut blade is the dark gray. So don't make the mistake that I know we all have done, and that's accidentally cut when you meant to score. That can just mess up your day. Alright, I'm going to hold that like that, and I'm going to crease this down using my bone folder. And I want to get a nice crisp fold on this, and I'm going to do both sides. And there's our card base. I'm going to sit that over here. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to cut a piece off of here, and I need this piece to be, I didn't measure any of this, but I guess I should have. This is going to be 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. 5 1/4. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to just cut off a 2 1/4 inch piece. Something like that. And now I know that I need a piece off of this that's going to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Then I've got this left over to do my die cutting with. This piece will need to go in the embossing folder. Now we need, this bottom piece is measuring about 1 1/2. So we need this to be about 1 1/2. So I'm going to line it up just like that and go ahead and give that a slice. And then we're going to cut it to 5 1/4 because that's the width of our card for our matting. Alright, so those are ready to go. So while we're doing this, let's go ahead and do some die cutting. Get our die cutting out of the way, then we'll do our embossing. To die cut, I'm going to show you what I did. On these dies, I did the solid black for the entire body of the motorcycle. So let's push that piece out. That was a little piece that got left in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slice off a piece of this about yay big. So let's bring our trimmer back out. The reason I'm going to do this, I'd love to be able to use the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I want to get my pieces small enough that I can do that with this. And so that is ready to go in the die cut machine. Now we have this strip left over of our silver, And this little piece right here will lay down perfectly over top of our motorcycle and give us some beautiful foil. So I'm going to tape that down. Something like that. We're going to need these wheels cut out of silver. These are the spokes for our wheels. This right here. But we're also going to do out of black, we're going to do these two tires. So those are going to go on our black piece. So as you can see, we can get quite a bit of our die cutting. Also, we need this little piece that goes on this goes right across this piece right here, and that's what that is. So we want that out of the silver as well. So get that adhered. We're going to need a couple more pieces of our post-it tags. And maybe that one right there. Now that's ready to run through the die cut machine. So I'm going to come up with my small one, and we're going to see if we can cut this. I love it when I can use my mini, because this makes it easy for you to be able to see exactly what I'm die cutting without having to zoom in and out, which that's a plus for me. All right, I'm going to take this piece first, and I'm going to lay it on my cut plate. And then I'm going to lay this plate over. And let's go ahead and crank it through. I'm going to just set this over here for a minute. And let's go ahead and pull these off. And we'll hang on to those because we're going to use it on the black in just a minute. And all of my dies, as I take them off, I'm going to lay them back over on my magnetic sheet so I don't lose them. And look how good everything cut out. Everything just pops right out of there, just like that. And the wheels, the only thing you're going to have to do is come back with take your pick tool and just poke out those little pieces out of the wheel, like so. These big pieces are, somebody said to save these, they look like Hershey Kisses. Or if you did them in black, they could be chocolate chips. What do y'all think? It does kind of look like a Hershey Kiss, doesn't it? Little mini Hershey Kisses. Alright, so we're going to pop out all of our little pieces on this. Just like that. Like I said, the little pieces that they cut, but sometimes you do have to go back and push those out. They don't fall out voluntarily. And you want to get all of that out. And part of that is because it's foil. If you were doing this in a different color, if you wanted to trim the bike out in red, something like that, you could do that as well. I just thought the silver looked like a really pretty chrome, and I love that. Okay, so that piece is done. Both of our wheels. Got a little bit more here on this one. Just like that, and then those are done. Now let's see if we can get our trash down here in the trash can. Now we're going to take our motorcycle, the body of the motorcycle in black. and these 2 tires, and we'll run that through. So you can do quite a bit with one of these little mini machines. They are convenient, especially for things like this, but we will need to pull the big one out because this embossing folder is not for the smaller one. And see, there is the body of the bike. It doesn't look like too much until you put all that chrome on it. And the tires, I thought this was so neat. They actually stay in the die, so you will need to pop those out. The 2 little circles that punch out are basically trash. You don't need those. Okay, so I got that done and that done. Now let's pop these out. I think we can get rid of this for right now. And I'm just going to pop these out by using the little holes that are in there. And when these pop loose, they look like that. Look how skinny those are. But where they're going to go is on the chrome to look like you have tires. Isn't that cute? Such a cute little set. And if you're like me, and most of us crafters, we do struggle with masculine cards, this makes it very, very easy. We're always looking for a easy fix for a masculine card for sure. Alright, we can get rid of that piece. And let's put our plates back up. And now we need to do the embossing on our piece of silver. And I'm going to lay this in, get it kind of straight like that. You got that little guideline down there to kind of line everything up on. We can open this up. Now that's a 3D embossing folder. So all we're going to need is a number 1 plate and a number 4 plate. That's for your 3D embossing. So that's the sandwich for this. I'll turn it a little bit like that. I'm just going to lay my plate in, put my number 4 plate over it, and we'll crank it through. Get rid of our plates. Then back up here in their little home. And there is our metal plating. Isn't that beautiful? Love this embossing folder. Alright, so now what we can do, let's build our bike before we put this together. So we're gonna layer this up here, and maybe this down here. Something like that. We'll get that on in just a minute. Let's build our bike first. So the first thing I want to do is bring out a silicone craft sheet, and I'm turning my tires over. You can tell the raised side is smooth. The underside has you can feel it. Just trust me when I tell you, and you can look at it and tell. So these are the back side. So this is where I'm going to put some glue down. And I'm going to show you how I found was the easiest way to get these on. And I found it easier to put my wheel over top of that just like that, and then pick the whole thing up and straighten it up on there just like that. Easy peasy. So again, we'll do it one more time. Just some little dabs of glue all around. And drop it. Square it up. Press it down. Wheels are done. So now we can bring the bike part over, and we know we're going to need to put the wheels on first. So what I like to do is kind of sit this down and get a feel for it. The wheels are definitely going to need to go down first, just like that. So let's put glue on the back of this, and I'm just going to go around the outer perimeter and put a dot in the middle, and we're going to drop this one right about here. And do the same thing on this one. Like that. And my other little die cut piece, what did I do with it? So let's go ahead and adhere this to here, like so. I think I want to go ahead and get my body on first. Yeah, let's get the body on first. So what I'm going to do with this, let's see a few more pieces here that didn't quite make it out, so we pop those out, and that silicone craft sheet's going to come in handy again, because we're going to lay this down and we're going to use our liquid glue, and I'm just going to run some liquid glue along these larger areas. Like that. Then we're going to come over and sit this down. You may want to pick it up so you can kind of adjust it. And I'm kind of going with the guideline across the bottom right here, making sure that my spokes are on the wheels, or the connector bar, I guess you would call it. That looks good. So now for this piece, I'm just going to put a little glue right across here. And we're going to glue that down. Something like that. And our motorcycle is done. That worked out really fairly quick and easy. I guess by doing the first one, it made my second one go together a lot quicker. I didn't have to figure anything out. Alright, so let's bring our piece over. And the next thing I want to do is I want to use some Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put the pieces down on here with using Stampin' Seal. You can use glue or whatever adhesive you like. But I'm going to do the Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm going to open my card up because I think that'll help me get this more even. Press that down. Then I'm going to take this piece and it's going to go right about there. So again, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal. And we're going to put it down, trying to get it pretty much even with this top piece and the same amount of border at the bottom as we have at the top. That looks really good. So now we can bring the bike back over, and I'm going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I am going to put several of those on here. Just like that, and we can lift these off. And now we can get our bike put down right about here. And I used kind of the line on this paper at the bottom to kind of guide me as to where I was going to place that. And I think that worked really well. It keeps you nice and straight. So, alright, the next thing, we need a little piece of scrap white paper. You don't need anything too very big, just a small, if I can find a small scrap. Yeah, this might work. We're going to grab the stamp set, and we're going to grab the little flame, and I believe that will work. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know. I got to die cut it, so maybe I need something a little bit bigger. I think that'll work. So I want to stamp this in real red, and I'll show you why, and I'll show you how we're going to get that yellow in between it. I'm going to come down to about here because I know I need to die cut that. I'm going to grab a stamp block. Pick it up. Really important not to rock your stamps, so tap, tap, tap. Don't do this number, don't press down hard, just tap, because you only want the ink on the stamp itself. And then stamp it. Again, do not rock your stamp. And that gives you a nice, beautiful image. So I'm going to kind of let this dry just for a moment. Tell you what, while we're waiting for that to dry, let's grab our Stamparatus. And I'm going to grab the Ride On It's Your Birthday. Maybe I want to do something different for this one. No, I'm going to do the same one. I'm going to do the very same one. We are going to come in with a piece of basic gray. And again, we just need a scrap. I was looking over here to see if I had any basic gray from earlier, but I don't think I do. Okay, this piece doesn't look real clean, so I'm going to scrap it and get a little bit better piece. Alright, and this is, like I said, it's just our basic gray. I'm going to bring, I got glue on my fingers. Let's see if I can wipe that off a little bit. Alright. So now what I want to do is I want to bring my sentiment about to there. And And I am going to ink this up. I'm going to use my Tuxedo Memento Black. My Memento Tuxedo Black. Sorry about that. I am still struggling with this stuff, whatever it is. It just will not seem to let go. But bear with me. The good thing with using the Stamparatus, I can stamp back and forth over this several times to get the depth of blackness that I'm looking for. And I want to see how kind of dull that is. I'm going to keep stamping it until I get it to a nice, heavy, rich black. I'll do it again. See, if you were stamping it straight down with a stamp block, you would not be able to do this. So every crafter needs a stamp positioning tool, and this one is outstanding. Okay, I'm going to use a little Stampin' Mist on this. And my cloth. Nice clean stamp now. Probably need to do that one too. Cleaning your stamps is so important. It keeps them well conditioned and they will last you forever if you take good care of them. So love, love, love that one. Alright, so now that we got that taken care of, I can bring this back over and I'm going to show you how we get that yellow in. The Stampin' Right markers are these ones right here. Now this is an investment because the entire case you get, I'm not sure how many markers comes in here. It's all of our standard colors. So, I used the Mango Melody, and we are going to color in using this one. And I'm using my brush tip, and I'm just coming in where the white is inside, just to kind of bring that yellow-orange fire look to the inside of this flame. Something like that. And I'll put this one back where it belongs so I don't misplace it. And now we can cut this out, and we can also cut this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this off. Something like this, and this, something like that. And let's bring up our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh, and I want to show you the dies I'm going to use. There wasn't a label die in this set. They they put everything into the parts of your little motorcycle. So there wasn't there was not any dies in there. So I went to All That. This is from the bundle called He's All That, and I grabbed this one. I thought it was just perfect for this particular sentiment. So let's grab our cut plates, and I'm gonna put this on here. I'm gonna get it centered up like I want it, because it looks like I stamped it a little crooked. So I'm gonna try to straighten that up with my die. That looks pretty good. So just bring a little piece there to hold that. And then we need to grab the flame, and that's this one right here. And we're going to lay this down. And what you want to do is make sure there's no white showing all around your piece. Once you get it like that, then go ahead and put this on it. And you can lay it right about here. So we're going to cut both of these with one shot. So come down and let's push it through. Right, I love it. Time to turn that plate over. It was starting to bow a little bit, so got them turned and everything, so I'm ready for my next go round. Let's move this die and put that one back in there. And now we're ready to bring our card back over. And what I want to do here is I want to glue this down flat to my card. So to do that, I'm just going to use some liquid glue. A little bit more glue than what I needed. It's okay. I'll just wipe a little bit of it off with my finger and position my flame about there where you think your exhaust would be, and bring that down just like that. Now we're ready to put some dimensionals on the label. The reason I'm using a lot on here is I'm putting it on top of this metal embossed plate or foil, and I want to make sure that it's going to adhere. So I know that looked like a lot for just one little sentiment, but you have to consider what you're gluing to as to how much glue you use. So I'm going to set this down right about here, like that. And now the only thing we got left to do is our little gems. I think I'm going to use a different one on this one. I think I might use the black, and I might just use the dots. I'm going to put one right there and one right there. And I think that will do that card just beautifully. Now for the inside on this one, I did put a gray border and then I did a white one. So I'm going to do the same thing in this one so you can see the process all the way through. I'm going to grab a piece of the basic gray. We're going to cut it down into 4 inches. Five and a quarter. And then we're going to need a piece of white. And we're going to cut this down to 3 3/4. I just cut that wrong. No, I didn't. 3 3/4 by 5. Thought I cut it on the wrong side, but I didn't. Okay, so we got that cut. And we're going to stamp on that white piece, and I'm going to stamp in red. And I'm going to use a sentiment that I got from Charming Sentiments. And we're going to use Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays. And I already have that on a stamp block. And we're going to bring this over. And we're going to ink it up. I am going to grab my, what did I do with it? Here it is. My Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm going to use, because I'm using the photopolymer, and I'm going to stamp this right about here. Very, very pretty. Then we're going to bring this piece over and we're going to adhere this to this piece. And I think I'm just going to use Stampin' Seal since I've got it already right here. Okay, so now I want to check my borders all the way around. And press that down. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to use a little bit more Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And we're just going to open this up. And we are going to set this down inside. Just like that, and our card is done. Now they're both the same. Same paper, same motorcycle, same, the only difference is I used these little studs on here and I used the black ones on there. But everything else is the same, from the sentiment on the inside to the sentiment on the outside. Love both of these cards. I think they're gorgeous. And oh, my camera's all crooked again. There we go. So I hope that this would be a card that you would enjoy making and perhaps would be interested in this collection of products. It is definitely a must-have if you need to make masculine cards. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. God bless and keep you, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. If any of these products interest you and you would like to order them on my blog, you will find the pictures of the card. You will find a PDF tutorial with pictures. You'll also see a link to my store, and if you print out that PDF tutorial, you can go ahead and find the order numbers for everything used. Thank you again for tuning in, and until we craft next time, bye bye.